Welcome, friends, once again to GC Talks. Hope so far you are liking our endeavor, and this will be continuing. So today I'm going to talk to you about something about a very common element of life. Once again, as I do, which is unavoidable, which is inevitable, and that thing is change. So change is inevitable. Change has to happen. We might like it, we might not like it, but it will happen. So I thought of telling you a story uh, right now because after making this video, I will be running down across the street from my neighborhood in Montreal and I will go for my coffee because I love coffee. I just love coffee. You have no imagination. So why I said that? Because, and that's the story. You know, by ethnicity, I'm an Indian. So when I came from India, being a very tropical climate, and I was from Calcutta, I was a passionate tea drinker. You know, there was stress of student life, erratic timings, sleeplessness, pressure in the university of semesters and exams. I used to drink a lot of tea, without any sense, what tea I am drinking. I was not a person who is like who will tell, this is the kind of tea I would, not a very sophisticated tea drinker, but a tea drinker just to beat my stress, just to stay awake. So, and in India, you might have seen having tea in the earthen cup. So that was the kind of tea I used to have, and that tea used to have a lot of milk. That tea used to have a lot of sugar. It's pretty much comparable to a double coffee. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So you can imagine this is a double tea version in a earthen pot. So, there will be a man who will be loitering around in our university with a kettle in the hand and a lot of earthen cups. So, he will come and, he'll come by us and serve the tea at a very nominal price. And as students, we used to pay him like on a weekly or a monthly basis. And, each day 6 cups, each day 8 cups. And sometimes there will be a innate competition without much knowledge, and friends will compete. One friend will say, oh, you can have 8 cups of tea. I'm going to show you that I can have 10. By doing these kind of competition, none of us probably realize that we are actually consuming a lot of tea. I'm not going into the health effects because the point of my topic is that change is inevitable. Over time, I realized that probably what I'm doing now is not good. you know Self-realization, and I have to be a bit more balanced. And saying that, I reduced one component from the tea, got rid of it because it's not good. It's a poison. So I got rid of the sugar. So now I'm having the same tea with milk only. And over time, I realized that maybe I can reduce the calorie a bit more. Let's not even put the milk. So now it's no more a tea with milk and sugar. It's just clear tea, or you can say steep tea. But still, the number of cups I was having was stupendous. It was actually very, very high at one point. But I never thought that I will keep account. I never thought, I drink tea throughout the day. That was my thing. I never even counted. The university life ended slowly and steadily. Someday something happened. I applied for, I became a graduate student. I came to Canada. I didn't even monitor what happened to my tea drinking habits. I landed in Canada in one of the coldest winter, which was 2008. It was very cold within next few days after my arrival. It was winter, my very first Canadian winter. I came to Alberta, the city of Calgary. That is also my first love of Canada, Calgary, where I did my graduate studies. Now, I realized something else after a few months in my graduate studies. So, I used to work in a hospital, basically. And because it was a hospital and not like a university, we had a cafeteria that was very remote, far off. You have to, between work, it was very hard to, walk that many steps and go to the cafeteria. But the good thing was, right where I used to work, beside my lab, there used to be a small cafe, in-house cafe in the university. I can tell you the name. The name is On the Go. I think the name changed after a few years. And I had no choice. So whenever I'm hungry, or, some days I will not carry my lunch, or sometimes I will go to the lab. I was working in a vet biological lab, so I had to go at odd hours too. So, late night was part of my life. Early mornings were also a part of my life. It doesn't matter what is the weather, whether it's I have worked at a normal summer. I have worked during minus 40 degrees Celsius. So that's irrespective. But you have to imagine one thing: I have to survive, right? To sustain this weather and workload, I have to survive. And my survival was that cafe, which perhaps used to sell tea. And to beat the winter, the first taste that my tongue got after coming to Canada, I won't say that I had my first coffee in Canada, but probably I realized what good coffee is. I started developing a taste of coffee drinking in Canada. I was drinking coffee, and because in my mind, I already told you that when I left India, I was already drinking steep tea. In my mind, I was like, okay, if I drink coffee, it will be black coffee. I generally don't like coffee with sugar or coffee with milk unless I want to celebrate. When I'm with my friends, when I'm in a great coffee company, that's the time I will go for a specialized coffee. Or if someone buys me a coffee and for free, I would love it. So keep that in mind. Anyway, so I was drinking black coffee, and days after days after days, yes. There was a time when I was having some very important exam during my graduate life. My maximum number of cups of coffee rose to about 16. I remember 16 cups of coffee a day because I had to sustain that very difficult exam. And that exam was actually like a gatekeeper of my degree. So I fail in the exam, I'm back to India. So that was the situation. So I had to survive. And excessive coffee drinking does some good things which is necessary in student life. For example, it takes off your sleep so I can study. It takes off your appetite. It's a money saving mode. You're not feeling hungry. These are not good things. Don't do it. It is not recommended to drink 16 cups of coffee a day. But what happened indirectly, I realized that the coffee I was having, because I had no choice, there was only one cafeteria on my site, that was a Starbucks coffee. And even today, Starbucks is my most favorite brand of coffee, even today. And I say it with full conviction. Without realizing, this thing happened. So I became a coffee drinker. So the same person who once decided that he will never drink tea became a coffee drinker. And I drink, nowadays, I don't like to have, I don't drink tea per se, but unless and otherwise it's absolutely necessary, I have no choice. Or sometimes I drink tea before going to bed. Very rarely, but steep tea. No milk, no sugar. But yes, coffee, absolutely. As I said, after I finish making this video, I will run to the cafe across the street from my house and just to have my morning coffee on a weekend. And today is a weekend, so that's going to be lovely. So I felt like sharing this story. And the moral of this story is, like as we say, don't put yourself in a box. Never claim that this is me and this is how I'm supposed to be, because you never know. There will be a wave or storm in your life, and someday some of your habits will change. You have perhaps realized this thing, that there are many food that you used to hate as a kid, but when you grew up, you love it. Or at least, if you have that food, you won't complain. But you spend so many years complaining about the same food. What happened to the food? Did it change? No. It's the same food. It has the same taste. What did change? It's you who changed. So change is inevitable. The more open we are with respect to our circumstances, with respect to our situations, the greater it is. So remember, change is inevitable. If you have a story of change, drop me an email at ghoshcompany2020@gmail.com and with your name, and I would like to share it. If you have comments and these kind of incidents that took place in your life that changed you or changed your habits, that you probably thought that it's never going to happen, put that in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening to us. And there's a surprise before I end this video, I would like to tell that my next video will be a food journey of my university life. And I will do that in Bengali for my Bengali speaking friends. Okay? So that's my next video. Stay tuned for the next Bengali GC Talks. Bye bye.